neither condone nor abide by this fucking recording session happening in my kitchen.
Psychedelic Space Beef Band. God damn it.
She's hungry for Mongolia barbecue and dick.
Basically, what's going to happen is every week we're going to offer to suck Mark in.
Steven, do you realize how bad of an idea this was? This is an idiotic. So this is our episode. Yeah, exactly. How Backstreet Boys. Like, what are you doing? Do you know what you're doing?
Shit, we got to be over here.
Like, as a friend, come on, guys. An incredibly poor decision and literally betrays everything that the beef session is about.
All right. Welcome to the Lost Beat 6 show. This is a very special episode because, unlike a lot of them, it's being hosted by me, and the old hosts are the guests this time.
What's up?
Yeah.
What's up? We're the guests.
Such a pleasure to be here,
Eric
Alex.
and Steve of the Psychedelic Space Beef Band.
Damn right.
And
That's correct.
I, of course, am the guy who is featured at the beginning of this theme song, screaming obscenities at Steve for, I don't remember why.
Rightfully so.
You know, we'll
for
get that
setting up
episode out one day.
It's for setting up a podcast
in my kitchen. Apparently, I was not a fan of it, even though I told you I was gonna. Well, yeah, it's the whole thing.
It what do you call it? Betrayed everything that the beef session.
It betrayed everything that the beef session was about. Yeah, no, that is accurate. That's betrayed. Jesus Christ. All right, so thought we'd do a little bit of something special this time. You guys coming out with a new album pretty soon.
That's right.
That's right. We just put up a release date. Very special date to us and, music fans around the world.
And what would that be?
That's going to be June 1st, which this year would be the 50-year anniversary of, most would argue, the greatest band,
Clearly.
greatest album of all time, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
That is correct. Yes.
And this is definitely a logical successor to that album.
That's kind of what we had in mind when we made it.
It was traditionally, a lot of bands have tried to do, recreate their own little vibe of the classic album. The one I know, the closest I think it got was Coldplay's Viva La Vida when they decided to dress up in those captain's jackets and make a very interesting, very colorful album.
Truly a classic moment in musical history.
But compared to our attempt, we make that look pretty pathetic. So, it's going to be revolutionary.
I think this is more bold and more daring.
Definitely more daring,
very
more
groundbreaking.
bold, more beefing,
That's
dank.
Definitely some words I would use to describe it is daring and dank.
Daring and dank. We'll throw that on the back of the album. Daring and dank.
Yeah.
Alex Lipson.
Yeah. Actually, I kind of want that to be on the front of the album. Instead of it being called Meet the Beefers by the Psychedelic Space Beef Band. I mean, it can still be called that, but I want the album just to be it just should say Daring and Dank Alex Lipset. Yeah.
We are a very pompous band. It's no one really can match what we do.
No, no one's ever attempted it even.
Yeah.
And I think that might be a good thing.
I think so.
But
I don't know how it could be a bad thing.
Yeah.
There's no way it could be a bad thing.
So let's before we jump into talking about some individual songs, let's go over kind of the whole idea behind the album, the founding of the Psychedelic Space Beef Band. Some of these songs have been around, for my understanding, is quite a while.
Yeah,
you guys have kind of been playing various versions of them. So maybe just kind of let's talk about the process of getting it together.
So me and Steve used to be in a couple bands that really went nowhere, but we had a good time, learned some stuff.
There's a couple try-hard acts,
Definitely.
And in the interest of full disclosure, I may have been in one of those shitty bands that you were part of.
Maybe. Well, so around, I guess, start of 2013 or so, me and Jake, who is one of the other three, or one of the three core members of the band who isn't here today.
He's on the vocals.
Yeah, he does vocals.
Ones and twos.
He's the dark horse.
Occasionally the threes and fours.
Occasionally.
He's the quiet member, being the singer. He's usually, you want to keep him kind of prepared for moments of, he's like a visual. He's more of like a visual icon,
right? An
lyrical
iconoclast.
Icon. And so we have to kind of speak for him in certain ways.
Right. No, so, I understand and approve of that.
Yeah.
He speaks with his beef.
He speaks with the beef.
One could say.
Yes.
He does speak with the beef.
But me and Jake started a project called Margalo about right around the start of 2013, and what we did was basically like we wanted to play in a band, but there was no one to play with us. So we took a bunch of looping pedals and we pretended that there were other instruments, because we would just I would play a guitar riff and then loop it, and then I'd get on drums, and then Jake would play like a piano thing, loop it, and then play bass. So it'd be like, hey, we have a full band, we're not just two losers in the garage. So we started that, and we did a lot of experimental stuff for a while, and it was really fun. But out of that, we started writing newer material, and 3 of the songs on the album, or maybe 4 now, came around that period. That was the start of it, and then we attempted to record it, and it didn't really go anywhere because we didn't have the time or the
technology
motivation.
Was just not available to us at the time.
That's true. Yeah, to create the perfect vision of Beef, we had to wait for technology to
catch up with our vision.
You just couldn't put that many tracks together before,
it's
right?
It's true. Yeah,
the tracks, the samples had not been invented yet.
No computer was powerful enough to handle the amount of beef that you guys were, even at that point.
That's a fair point. Down. That's a fair point, Terry. Yeah.
That didn't work out, and then we spent basically, me and Jake, the next 3 years developing the technique of beefing it before we were ready to come back in the studio and get it done.
Right.
And that was a long journey filled with lots of vodka, weed, anime, cigs, all of it. And out of that was born,
true ingredients for success.
Exactly.
Essentially, that was before, it was pre-beef in it.
It was developed over that 3-year period.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
It started basically once I turned 21 in 2013. Then that's where it could really take off. Didn't have to rely on anyone else to buy for me. So
that's true.
From that period on, and especially in the summer of 2014, when I was just unemployed and not going to school, I could just spend every day doing nothing. Then really got the core ingredients for beef and perfected.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, those
was
were
an important
dark
time in my
days
life.
in the deli,
Fuck. So last year, me and Steve were like, all right, let's give this another go. We still like those songs. We still know how to play them and all that. Let's do it again. And so we went back and we re-recorded the stuff we tried to do in 2013, and it went really well. And from there, we weren't really sure how the album was going to be, if it was just going to be like an EP of those songs, which eventually did get released. But the thing that really set off the album was when we recorded the track "Just Beef That Shit Up, Motherfucker," which was written in about 10 seconds and recorded in about 1 hour, which that was when we knew that we had something special. It was
the idea of writing a commercial for a company we all love.
This is still an ongoing campaign, but
pro bono, we're just giving it to them.
Yes,
we are sponsored by New Amsterdam.
Exactly.
They can't do much about it.
We've had enough New Amsterdam vodka that we feel that we should be sponsored by them, because we already wrote them a perfect song and did it for free. So one of these days I'm going to email and be like, guys, you're sponsoring us. All I ask for is just some New Amsterdam vodka.
That's already a conclusion. You are sponsoring.
Yeah, they are sponsoring.
They are sponsoring us.
I would go ahead and claim that.
Yeah,
they just don't know it now,
Yeah.
but they will soon. Probably by June 1st.
This is not that difficult to figure out. It's pretty simple. We could say that it spawned the opening track.
Yeah, it is inexorably linked to that opening track. Do we want to? Maybe we should jump into the album. Do you want to play us a little bit of the first track there?
So the first song.
Stevie?
The first song is the great
Stevie boy.
Yeah. Thank you, Terry. The first album, the first song that kicks off the album is a live track that we played at Wembley Stadium.
Oh, great show.
Wonderful show.
Great audience.
Lovely audience.
Oh, man.
How many people were there? Probably, there's got to be several thousand, right?
Yeah, what was it, 80,000?
80,000, yeah.
How many people fit that arena?
There were,
you guys
there
sold
were
it
more
out.
people than there were seats. You know,
You guys
It
did
was
sell out
kind
that
of a
venue.
safety hazard. You know,
we make you two
like to-
look like little bitches.
give my condolences to the families of the fans who didn't make it out of that show. You know, but they died doing what they loved. You know, seeing us play.
It was beef in it.
Their memories are forever in the hearts of true beefers everywhere.
They gave their lives
Just
to
a-
beef that day.
Just a complete interjection here. Just found a fortune from a fortune cookie in the seat cushion of this couch that says you are going to have a very comfortable life. And I have to say, kind of right on the money. I'm sitting here on a couch, like pretty comfortable.
We're
It's
lucky
to get a lot more.
We're lucky
comfortable.
to be here, Terry. It's just
When the album sales come in.
it's-
Well, that was the segment of the show where we talk about fortune cookies. Let's get back to
Moving on.
Yeah. Anyway,
the
so
album.
like I said, it was at Wembley Stadium, and the Magic was out that night. And
Oh
we
yeah, we had
basically-
Anthony Kiedis and Brady Quinn on stage.
We
It was
did.
Now,
it was
Anthony
incredible.
Kiedis, he actually took off the sock halfway through, right?
He did, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
that
that
was-
and then Brady
Saw his feet and everything.
Quinn got
you know,
to.
I was a little underwhelmed. You know, knowing what I know about Brady Quinn, you know, Kiedis didn't compare, I would say, but he gave a good take. You know, he did a good job.
Yeah, those two working together, what a blast!
Oh yeah,
It
no,
was
that's
fantastic,
a combo.
lovely people.
Great.
That's what I've heard.
Great.
They're
good people.
really good friends. So.
Yeah, they're now really
It was
good friends,
easy to get
and
them
we get together. They're now beefers.
yeah,
They beef with.
They're in the studio today.
yeah. Hey,
Hey guys,
Hey,
how's it
what's
going?
Is that right, Anthony? That's
Classic,
awesome.
classic.
I'll let you
bits.
get back to it with Brady over there. Yeah, so basically, it was essentially lifted from that ad that we did for New Amsterdam.
which there will be more ads. We're shooting for Baja Blast, which I'm still mad about. Fuck you, Pitch Black or the Decision. You know,
I don't
the,
drink
the
soda.
one that
Let's-
no one cares about. One.
We should spend
fuck
some
was
time
that?
on this topic here. So just
Do we
to
wanna hear the song?
maybe our listeners might not quite know just quite as much about Mountain Dew as we do here. Maybe you could clarify. So what is exactly your grievance with Mountain Dew?
My grievance is with the people. I have no grievance with Mountain Dew.
The
people,
product itself is good.
The
but,
product is fine, but the people voted for the wrong Mountain Dew. It was Baja Blast versus I don't know what the other one was called. How did they win? It was like the grape one or the purple one or I don't know. But Baja Blast, you know, the election last year I didn't care about. I didn't vote, but I did vote for Baja Blast in Decision because that was the real one.
And I just like to
the
get your
wrong candidate won.
Can I think this might be kind of begging the question. Do you think there was Russian involvement in the Baja Blast?
You know, it was a plebeian involvement. It was you know, if the Russians hacked it, then they would have done it right, you know. But
That's, you know, which is a good
nothing
point.
could have saved the stupidity of the people that didn't vote Baja Blast. There's no way. And
Truly a wonderful parallel to our own election.
anyone with the intelligence to hack would have hacked for Baja Blast. So no, I don't believe there was any Russian involvement.
Strong words.
So,
But
Steve, do you want to speak on any kind of soda?
No, I don't do drugs, Terry.
Interesting, and that's because of you had a bad experience back in 1975 about him, right?
With Jimmy
crazy
Page,
evening.
yes, Jimmy Page, 1975. that's
Speak on
correct.
that.
No, I don't really feel like it, Terry. I think we should play the
It's a
song.
touchy subject.
It's a
I
subject
understand.
to debate, and
Play the song.
There's a current court order we have to worry about. So I
Yeah,
think we should
there's
go
there's
ahead
still
and-
pending litigation. You don't
Yeah,
wanna-
it was like he said.
Can't release
she's-
All right, so we're getting to the clip of the track that started the rest of the album here.
Yes, this is the Psychedelic Space Beef Jam, essentially
It's
live
broken
at,
up into several parts. The first part being just beef that shit up, motherfucker.
live
which
at
is-
Wembley Stadium.
which is the segment you're about to hear.
Let's hear that now. Well, I think you should definitely keep this audio every time you make the song. What a wonderful track!
Oh,
It was
man.
really a fun time. Had
That was a good
by all.
night.
You could really hear the the stadium there. I think it's almost like it's another member of the band.
I would say so.
You know,
that's you know, like you know how the Seahawks have like the 12th man, you know, the fans, like that's
Sure.
like our
we have the
10th
12th
member of the band.
Yeah.
However many we're playing with that night would be the fans, you know.
Yeah.
Like the 5th member of the
and
Beatles.
Then the next one would be the actual location itself. Like, I'm not talking about the
True.
fans.
Yeah,
They're an
no.
important part. But I
the
think
stadium itself,
Right.
yeah, is also an important part of the band.
yeah, I'd buy that.
It's like the 13th man, I guess,
Yeah.
something like that.
Was that a movie?
Uh,
I think it involved like
13th
with
Beefer?
a jury.
It's just yeah.
Something like that.
Steve, any favorite movies dealing with like legal drama? Just on the topic of juries. I'm glad I'm entertaining myself at the very least.
You're such a fine job of this interview, Terry.
Yeah, no, I'm really keeping the
keeping everything
on topic. Coherent.
I mean, I don't blame you. This is not on point, you know.
Yeah.
There's no
NPR.
Terry, you're no Tom Ashbrook.
So yeah, let's talk about the next song because I can't think of anything else funny to say.
That would be Letter to Robert Smith. That's gonna be.
Let's invest. Like, we need to talk about this one because
Oh, man.
this is truly one of the more creative tracks. And you know, I feel almost bad talking about this because we don't have such a critical part of that song in the studio here today.
True.
Though we do still have Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah,
They're taking their time, but
I don't know how Corey didn't make it in fucking Anthony got over here, but
scheduling conflicts. I imagine.
yeah, you know.
Well, you know, the letter was written. It's a real letter. It's a
Yeah, Corey
It's a real piece of
did
paper.
the important thing. He found the letter.
That was firsthand investigative journalism.
Yeah, it was.
I don't want to get too into it because you really kind of have to hear it for yourself to kind of. But you know, he wrote it. He read it.
So it's also, I don't know if it was legal how he got that letter.
Yeah, I imagine.
I don't know if we should go into it too much.
Well, I think what happened was he was in a room. He managed to go to
it was when
one
Michael
of the-
McCormick
one of the-
played Rock City last year.
Rock
Right,
City.
right.
Yes.
Corey snuck
Rock
backstage.
City Studios in Camarillo, California.
Stole.
We're not gonna
Ways.
We're not
No,
gonna
no,
call
no,
it
no,
stolen.
No, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say it right now. No, I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations is up on it, so I think we're okay.
For my recollection of the event, not having been there but having been told by several prime witnesses, I remember Gerard Way looked into the eyes of our good friend Corey and said, pointed him in the direction, you know, and then got his bouncer, his personal bodyguard, to bring him and said, Gerard wants you. And so he was
That
called
sounds
into
like what I heard.
he was called into Gerard's chambers, if you will.
And they
Corey came out with the letter.
He came out
what
with the letter.
happened in the chambers?
We can't talk
it's
about-
between Corey and
Yeah.
Gerard.
Gerard Way.
And it'd be basically inappropriate to discuss, even contemplate what might have happened, because Corey is a very good friend of ours, and we wouldn't want to disrupt his reputation for being a swell guy.
Yeah, we won't speculate, but the letter came out, and
I will.
Corey.
Though. I will speculate.
Okay,
Corey they went to Bone Town together. Him and Gerard Way.
That's quite an accusation there, Terry.
I don't think it's an accusation. I mean, that kind of has an implication that I think there's something wrong with that. I think it's wonderful. it's a loving
2017.
act.
It's 2017.
Anyway,
So
Yeah, he got the letter and he read it out, and we threw in some very very well placed piano music with some strings, and it really brought the whole thing together.
yeah, tied in a nice bow and
can we hear a little bit of that track?
no, Terry.
Sorry, we can't play that one.
That's understandable.
Actually, yeah, we'll
it is
play,
dealing
you
with
know,
some pretty
tell-
heavy subject material.
I tell you what. I'll tell you for this one for you, Terry. I'll go ahead and put this in here.
Dear Robert Smith.
Wow, so you really weren't joking. We got to hear like
that
three
is the
words.
letter. That is part of the letter that we got to hear, and it's very. We were very lucky to have it, and we're very lucky.
It's very raw,
to
emotional, drunk.
Very, very Yeah.
Corey's a method actor, so
He really delved into the role of
he did.
Gerard Way.
I thought it was Gerard the
It
first time
really
I
doesn't
heard
get much better than Dear Robert Smith.
No, that's
Really the highlight of the
it's
whole
definitely I think
True.
there's been a lot of albums kind of released recently that dealt with kind of grief and death in an interesting way. So I know initially this track was thought about being called Letter to Gerard Way. Can we speak on that? Because that made no fucking sense.
You know, was it Corey that described it like that? Or did we mislabel it?
I very, very clearly remember someone showing me an early version of this song called Letter to Gerard Way.
No, it was...
Which was just confused the hell out of me.
No, it was doesn't matter.
It was Gerard's Way?
Gerard's Way.
Working titles can take on different meanings, Terry, and it's just, some of those things, they just kind of fluctuate and flutter into the ether, and what we got is what we have, and I think it's what we're sticking with.
that really, Steve, that's a
if you play it
non-answer.
backwards, it might be a letter to Gerard Way. I'm not saying, it is, but
interesting.
I would suggest playing it backwards.
That's like if
you want to find out.
You play the wall backwards, it makes you kill the Pope or something like that. That was the thing, right?
Yeah, I think that's what happened in 2004.
I believe it was Dark Side of the Moon, while trying to insert the Wizard of Oz up one's ass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think we've all done that.
That's the Judy Garland special. So let's get real here for a second, guys. What the fuck were you thinking?
A lot of it wasn't thinking.
Rolling Stone asked us the same question, except it was more like, who are these guys?
Yeah. And then they showed you the door pretty quickly.
We showed them the door, and then they showed us the door.
Did you do?
They won that battle.
How many doors are there at the Rolling Stone headquarters?
There was just one door.
There were about three doors down.
Fuck you, Steve.
Well, we were hanging out in the Village in New York City, having a lovely meal with Jan. Jan's such a great guy.
Yeah,
we've been telling him to get
is Jan
Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for years, but he really hasn't seemed to want to help us out with that. We've been saying take the Ramones out, put Captain Geach.
Oh yeah, no, the Ramones fucking suck.
Ramones.
No one likes the Ramones. Very bad.
Terrible.
Bonzo goes to Bitburg, more like Bonzo goes to fucking guitar lessons. Okay.
So we were thinking, we look around at the scape of music. We look a lot.
There wasn't enough anime. That was my thought.
There's a decent point. There's not enough anime.
Yeah.
I would say that's the flaw in our record. There's not enough anime in our record.
You'll have to look for the anime.
Yeah, it's
in there. But you might have to play it backwards, or you might have to run some sort of filters over it, or run some algorithms. Like real computer sciencey stuff. And then you can find the anime, but I won't tell how.
You'll never tell. You'll take that secret to the grave.
Yeah, or someone will find it out.
Yeah, either way. So one of my favorite tracks on the album, I have to say, was a little number entitled Macho Man Sandy Ravage.
No, actually, the track is called Macho Boys.
Yeah, we just changed it like a week ago.
I thought I literally talked to you yesterday, Steve, and it was called Macho Man Sandy Ravage. Did you just change the song's name earlier today?
That was an Eric decision, and so most of the time we just go with what he wants.
Yeah, no, he is
and
kind
I
of a
Macho Boys.
He's kind of a prima donna bitch, I have to say.
Can I say? I run this band.
He's our glorious leader, and we do
Fuckers.
What we want.
So initially, Macho Boys was inspired by a friend of the show.
Yeah, we hope to get him to do it, and
his schedule though
happening. His schedule's tight.
I mean, again, could get fucking Kiedis here.
Kiedis still here. We worked with what we had, and I think it turned out really good.
Yeah.
So it was another one of those kind of that was heavily inspired by the works of Dario Russo, and
definitely.
And we kind of want.
I know who those people are.
So it was a track that our good friend Rob Conrad helped us out with, and we kind of whipped that one out, kind of much like we did in the Beef That Shit Up Motherfucker routine, or tradition rather.
Right.
So
you lay it down, then you're like, all right, that was good. Moving on, and then you realize it was good, and you didn't need a second take.
It gets better with age, and it just simmers in like a nice nice demi-glace, and essentially we anticipated.
We got 3 Macho Boys on the track.
We did.
We got 2 of them in the studio. One of them from heaven.
Yeah,
And,
he came down,
and he brought the track together. That's for sure.
It's very.
You can definitely tell his spirit is in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very.
Nobody
much
does it
inspired.
better.
Nobody does it better, and on balance, off balance doesn't matter. He's just better than we are. So
I agree.
So that's pretty much about it's the Macho Boys. It's one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah, Macho Boys.
Mainly because I wrote a lot of it.
It sounds great, and it all the playing was really tight.
All my least favorite songs I didn't write.
What's your least favorite song on the album?
Good question.
So, while you're processing that, I just want to talk about one thing I really did appreciate.
Jesus might be my least favorite track.
Are you talking about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, or is that an actual song on the album that I have not heard?
No, it's a song on the album that you haven't heard yet. Most people haven't.
But it's a piece of shit, is what I'm getting.
Well, it's a rather personal number, and it was a lot of agony to make that record perfect.
Is it anything
it's
like...
more of an anguish...
I love you, Jesus Christ.
Terry, you have a lovely voice.
Jesus Christ, I love you.
No.
It's not like that?
No.
Okay.
That wasn't really close, no.
Basically, it was essentially we had to... That song took the most out of me, just to put together. So it was a lot of painstakingly manipulations.
What bodily fluids did you have to produce to make that song?
Just sweat.
Just sweat, not blood or tears.
No, just sweat.
Any jizz?
Any cummies?
No.
So you're telling me you never jizzed in this album?
No, I don't masturbate, Terry.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've never had
sound
sex
like
either.
The Steve I know. So
he doesn't like touching that meat.
He's a straight shooter.
I'm a straight shooter. I don't do a lot of these.
You don't participate in self-harm?
No. No, I've tried to, but I just wonder, what's the point?
You're just waiting for that.
I'm trying to find
special someone.
No, not really.
This is the dumbest fucking thing we've ever done. There's no fucking point to this shit.
I'm not a very attractive person, Terry, so I don't expect people to really kind of enjoy my bravado, and I just don't feel my confidence. I'm perfectly confident in myself. I have no qualms. I have very minimal regrets. I just don't think people are very attracted to me, so I don't try that effort to move, or at least make connections with people.
I agree. Eric, could you talk a little bit more about some of Steve's faults?
I think he's a perfect guy. I don't think he has any faults.
That's so sweet, Eric.
That's a bullshit non-answer if I've ever heard one. Moving on. So let's talk about some more songs.
Yeah.
What is your favorite track on the album, Eric?
I like making all of them. Some I like making more. So it might depend on like what I had the most fun making and what I liked of the finished product the most. Because I think what turned out the best probably would be the Psychedelic Space Beef Jam. Because the first track was... The way it turned out was just phenomenal. Especially the end part.
It's definitely a personal
the beef
favorite.
chant. Oh, yeah. So I'm really excited to show that to people. The one that was the most fun to do...
Sets the tone really nicely.
It sets the tone right away, yeah. The one that was the most fun to make probably was maybe Deadline, just because seeing that song come together after... Because that's the oldest track on the album. That one was from... more than 5 years ago. That was from even before the Margalo stuff. So like actually seeing it come together like I originally imagined was just, for me personally, it was awesome. So I would say that'd be my answer to that.
Steve, same question.
I think my personal favorite track might be the great Psychedelic Space Beef Boogie because I wrote it.
That one did turn out really well.
And also, it was
He did write it too.
I wrote this thing, believe it or not, and because most people don't think of me as a writer, they just think of me as a goon.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say like a real piece of shit.
It's a thing like, well, a very mean-spirited fella who doesn't have an emotional side, and it's mainly because I don't. But essentially, it was really a fun piece to conceive in a lab, where basically we synthetically created a jam that nobody ever played together on. It's essentially a song that nobody played.
That's true.
At the same time,
there was no two people playing together.
Exactly
on that track,
which is it's a very hard feat to do for 15 minutes and repetitiously.
Let's talk about the choice to make that song 15 minutes, especially considering there's also, I believe, a solid 4 minutes where basically nothing happens.
I'm not sure where the 4 minutes of nothing comes from, Terry. I think 15 minutes is inspired by the great boogies of the late 60s from blues bands such as like Canned Heat and other
Can as well.
And Can and
Heat.
And
Heat, yeah, the movie.
And the movie Heat.
Can we actually? Hey, I want to just changing gears. Here.
Actually, no, Terry, I'm not going to change gears. I want to get back to the topic.
No, I would really like to talk about the movie Heat.
Where basically
by Michael Mann.
Concept.
No, Heat.
The Woodstock.
Steve, it really irritates me when you talk over me like this, and I just want to talk about the movie Heat for a little bit.
Great movie.
This podcast is talking Heat, right? The podcast where we just talk about the movie Heat by Michael Mann. I want to talk about Heat.
Let's talk.
It's a good movie. Al Pacino's in it.
He plays Bob Bear Height, a big fat beaver who's...
Steve, I really am going to have to ask you not to interrupt this segment of the podcast where we talk about the movie
We are
Heat.
talking about Heat.
You are spewing some bullshit about Heat, whereas I'm laying down truth. You know what my favorite part of Heat is the part where Al Pacino is talking about like some woman's like has a great ass.
She
it's
had
good.
a good ass.
Is that the one where Johnny Depp plays the retard?
Yeah, in Heat's about Al Pacino doing cocaine and a retarded bank robber played by Johnny Depp.
No, I'm sorry, that was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Well, Leo's in it too, but Leo's the other retarded.
There was a crossover movie
Al
with
Pacino investigating a pair of retarded bank robbers.
There was a crossover movie with
Leo
Gilbert Grape
and Johnny Depp, right?
No, that's what's wrong with Gilbert Grape. It was a crossover movie.
Oh, so I see what you're saying. So that you have a theory that Heat and What's Eating Gilbert Grape take place in the same cinematic universe.
It broke new ground, Terry. It was just fantastic, and I think when Marvel was getting their act together with the Blade series and trying to figure out what they were going to do before they would eventually be bought out by Disney, that this was a very template or a what do you call it? A prototype to build on for further expanding on cinematic universes as we know them today.
That's a really good point. Guardians of the Galaxy in theaters now. Go see it.
And watch Star Wars.
We're sponsored by Disney
With New Amsterdam.
And go see The Force Awakens.
Always drink New Amsterdam when watching Disney movies.
Definitely.
It'll
just,
make
you
your
can just say just
viewing
always
experience.
drink.
Always drink. That too.
That's my mantra.
At least every night. If you want to go all day, I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah. You know who will try to stop you? Lame ass people that want to rain on your parade.
Yeah. Fuck boys.
Also,
and the police.
Cops.
Yeah. Those assholes.
Yeah, man. Hey. You just gotta that's the problem with Uber these days is that these kids aren't learning how to drive drunk, and that's not acceptable.
Yep. Too many cops, you know.
Yeah.
How can you learn to drive drunk if you get pulled over?
Right. Yeah.
They're screwing it up from the start.
Let's I think we should hold our thoughts on how drunk driving is a quote total bullshit for the other podcast. Drunk driving is total bullshit.
Yeah, I can't wait for the other host to come back, Terry. Those guys were really great.
Fuck you, Steve. I don't need this shit, man, in my life. I'm doing this as a favor, and you're just gonna come up here with this nonsense, and I don't appreciate it, honestly.
Well, I really do appreciate being on your show, Terry, and I really want to make sure that we all enrich the audience with the best listening experience possible.
What should a listener do to prepare their bodies to listen to this album?
Definitely 5 or 6 shots minimum.
I think there's a couple things you could do. Either you have to wear your Sunday best. You have to basically wait a week without masturbating, and if you do masturbate, you must drop acid.
I think you should drop acid for the album anyway, but at least that.
And
so
then,
those I believe are the same rules as the famous Ducky in the Pond experience.
I don't know what you're talking about, Terry.
What
was this? Was this
I
Ducky in the
want to
Pond?
talk about Ducky in the Pond.
You might have to tell me about it because I'm not really aware of this this act.
You deny all knowledge of Ducky in the Pond? Because I would like to say, in some
it's hard to
very
deny
real
what
way,
you don't
the start
know.
of the Psychedelic Space Beef Band was Ducky in the Pond.
One could make that argument. However, I do not know if we have the time to make the connection here.
Maybe we'll save that story for another day.
I would love to go into that, although I may not be allowed to.
I'd love to know more about this duck and his pond.
You really wouldn't.
Who edits your podcast, Terry?
You do, Steve.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, this is your job. This is actually a bit, right? I'm not Terry. I'm Alex.
No, Terry.
This is your show where I host it.
No, this is a serious interview about serious music.
This is Fresh Air, right?
This is Fresh Air.
This is Fresh Air with
Terry Grose.
Terry Grose.
Thank you.
I'm Terry Grose.
And this is Fresh Air.
And we have Anthony Kiedis in the studio.
WHYY in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I'm Tom Ashbrook. I'm on point.
Welcome back to Fresh Air. I'm Terry Grose.
This is the Lost Beat 6 show, Terry.
Oh, shit. God damn it. I'm in the wrong spot. I gotta go get back in my car. See you guys later.
See ya.
Come on, just talk. Just say some words.
It was good to see you, Terry. We'll see you next time. So I think we got our show back.
I think so.
That was just a miserable nightmare. so
I thought it was fine.
I was good until I started things I didn't know about, like Ducky in the Pond and saying things about jizzing about Jesus and things I'm just not very comfortable with. So I think, but basically we want to announce that the Psychedelic Space Beef Band is releasing their debut record, Meet the Beefers.
Meet the Beefers.
Meet the Beefers.
Oh, hey, Terry.
Hey, I'm back.
It's kind of like Meet the Beatles, but like the Beefers.
Because we're like the Beatles. We're
basically the Beatles.
How about more like Meet the Muppets?
Bigger than Jesus, we're bigger than the Beatles. How about that?
Yeah.
John Lennon.
So